You are listening to Crime, Coffee, and Crafts, a podcast featuring two crafty besties who love true crime and a good cup of joe.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right.
That's the pose all them kids are doing.
Yeah. Duck face.
As I sit here with my pants up to my boobs. What?
Fun fact, Kristen snapped me a video saying that. It was awesome.
I'm here for the laughs, guys. You know, that's what I'm here for.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I love that.
Yup.
I love that shirt. Oh, my God.
I love it, too.
So good. So good.
So hard to see.
It's perfect.
There, can you see it?
Yeah.
All
Got
right.
Oh, can I show everybody something real quick?
Please.
So I've been trying
Show
to
and tell.
organize things in my home. And that means that I'm buying nifty things. So my friend gave me this, which is actually a silverware tray.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, wow, that's super cool. Like, but we kind of hated it because it's only a single one.
Mm.
And I don't like it when my big spoons and little spoons and etc.
Yeah, I hate that. Yeah, I don't like them together either.
So I bought a double wide version of it.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, well, what am I going to do with the single one? Dude, crochet hooks, knitting needles, lip gloss.
You gotta have it everywhere.
I'm using it for my crafty stuff.
I like it.
So it's a good little organizer. Anyway.
Very nice.
That's my show and tell.
I like it. I like it a lot. I'm drinking coffee.
Hell yes, out of the coolest mug ever.
Mm-hmm.
Besides ours, of course.
Besides ours. Ours is always gonna be top.
Besides
top. But I needed the extra large cup today. And I got, so my dad for Christmas got me Death Wish coffee.
Fuck yes! Somebody was just saying that they drink it and they love it.
And this is a dark roast, so I usually go for medium roast, but it's really good. I don't know if it's the world's strongest coffee, but that's what they say it is. So maybe it is.
Well, considering it's a dark roast, probably not, but okay.
Yeah, I know. But it is organic and fair trade. So we like that.
Fuck yeah, Death Wish.
They support coffee farmers and take a stand for equality and sustainability.
I love that.
But yeah, it tastes good and it's got me going. It's good for recording days.
Well, especially because it's
keep
a
you
darker
alert.
Roast. You can drink more of it without getting completely like spun
I'm a
out.
little jittery. Not gonna lie, because you know
you've already had
this is my third mug.
Her third ginormous mug. It's like a 30-ounce mug.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
It probably is.
This is 15, isn't it? Or 20?
15.
15. Yeah, I think that one's
Our
double.
big one is 15 ouncer.
Yeah.
It's a great mug.
It really
my
is.
friend Bill, love him to death. He bought one of our mugs and he uses it like every day.
Is that one that lives closer to me than do you?
No.
Is one of your friends? No, you have another friend who bought our sweats.
Bought sweatpants. And then
love my sweats, dude.
Yeah. And then one of the children.
Yeah. I wanted to ask her.
She wanted a hoodie.
I want to ask her if we can share that on our Instagram.
I'll get up with her.
She posted a picture wearing her hoodie, which, by the way, everybody should post a picture with their swag. please, pretty please.
Please, we like it.
We'd like to see
We'll
it,
have
and
to.
we want permission to share.
Mhm.
Pretty please. Thanks.
Birdie, please. So there's that. And then I have a painting.
Yes.
I have a painting. It's a large one. The so I don't know if it'll fit in the frame, but
Just like,
um
we'll see.
so this one I really love because it's a lot of bold color, but um a lot of people, especially these days, are really into the Monstera plants. You know, the
Right. Yeah.
big fancy leaves that are green. So this is my take on the Monstera plant, okay?
Bring it. Dude, I love it. I freaking love it.
And just as an FYI, if you're gonna do just canvas and not frame them, make sure you wrap your paint around the
That's one of
edges.
Kristen's peeves is when people don't do that.
I
the
hate
edges.
it. I hate it. You've got to make sure that your painting wraps around. It's very important. It just gives a better aesthetic when you see it on a wall.
Mhm.
So look at me, pretty colors.
I
And
love it.
I made every one of these colors out of other paints that I have. So
Of course you did.
it's one of the things I like doing is mixing a paint, and then of course I can never get the right color again, but it's okay because that's my
That's normal.
process. That's my process.
Yeah.
So this is a lovely painting. I love it, love it, love it. And I actually want to do similar ones in different colors, but per usual, it's for sale.
It reminds me so much of Andy Warhol stuff.
Yeah, he does a lot of bright
I
colors and
love
blocks of colors. I really like blocks of colors. My house currently is just like these weird cream colored walls, so making sure I have bright, vibrant paintings
Yep.
really helps my mental clarity.
Well, and that's actually why I will be doing my walls all like a barely gray, because
Yeah.
I like bright artwork and I don't want it to clash.
Well, I have chosen paint that is
Yes.
colorful
Oh,
for my walls.
yes, I know. You have, I know. I love it.
But they still coincide with the colors I usually typically do for my paintings too.
Right.
So they don't clash too bad.
Yes. All of a
So
sudden, sorry guys, I feel like all of a sudden I have to cough.
she's a little verklempt.
We're fine. We're fine.
We're good. This is normal. So yeah, Heidi will price that, and
Yeah.
you can DM her if you would like to purchase that.
Kristen is not allowed to price her own stuff.
Nope.
Confirmed.
Because I lowball. Like, I don't just lowball. I
She's basically giving it away.
Because
Yeah.
I do have to preface that I paint and create for my sanity. It's therapy for me. So
Absolutely.
I like to create artwork for brain purposes. And I guess I've been told that I'm good at it too. So
Maybe
I
a
try
little.
and stick with it.
just a little bit. Only one of our favorite artists ever.
Talent. I try and put my
Oh.
talent out there.
Yeah.
It's hard though. Self-esteem and all that.
Well,
Self-confidence.
embrace yourself.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm working on it. But anyways, yeah. So available for purchase.
Hell yeah.
And it's a big one. I think it's 16 by 20. Maybe bigger. I don't remember.
I'll have to figure out shipping for that one.
They're still very light. It just would be a long package, but
yeah.
Yeah. So trigger warnings.
Woo!
Yeah. So before I go into this, I was looking for a new case to study.
Mm-hmm.
and I figured out when this episode is going to air, and it'll be January 20th. So then I went into my little tabby wabby on my googly moogly
Oh,
and found Mr. Joel Rifkin that
she's
was born. I used my Google machine. He was born January 20th, but in the year 1959.
His birthday is on January 20th.
So when we
Somebody-
air, it'll be
yeah.
his birthday.
Like somebody else, somebody I know's birthday is on January 20th. Uh-oh.
There's a lot of January birthdays.
Yeah.
Mine's coming up.
Yeah.
You know, and a
Who's
child, one of my children, and my dad, and
Oh man.
my friend Whitney.
Oh man.
Lots of Januaries.
Jeez.
Lots of Januaries.
It's a good month.
It is. It's beginning of a new year.
Hell yes.
So this guy was nicknamed Joel the Ripper. And I will get into that further. But trigger warnings are if you are easily offended or grossed out by dismemberment, prostitution, murder by strangulation, and blatant disregard for human life, this might not be the episode for you.
I'm pretty sure like
Like all of mine seem to be.
I think all of ours are like that. Or like if you don't,
Yeah, they're yeah. You can't be sensitive to the topics.
and be into true crime. They just don't mix. So.
Yeah. You got to be able to stomach it all.
Yep.
So,
Ready.
are you ready?
I am. I'm excited.
Yeah. Let me tell you, me finding a murderer born on this episode date did not disappoint.
Well,
Okay.
I've never even heard of the guy, so like this is great.
I know. This is interesting, to say the least. So, as we talked about, he was born January 20th, 1959.
Mhm.
He was the son of unknown parents.
Okay.
His parents, they were probably teenagers, young, and
Probably.
could not raise him as their child, so they adopted him out. 3 weeks old, he was adopted, and he was adopted by Bernard and Jeannie Rifkin, and they're in New York. He was born in New York. He lived his whole life in New York, and so unknown family history.
Right.
So there's no known information on whether he was predisposed to killing or not.
Right.
But he grew up in this family. They had 3 years later adopted a daughter as well. So they were this nice, caring, loving family. And they were not abusive. There was no ill feeling. They just wanted to take care of their children that they were so lucky to adopt, is how they
Right.
felt. 1965, they moved from where they were in New York to East Meadow, New York. I did not look that up. I should have looked it up. I'm not sure which part of the state, but
I can look it up.
I believe it was closer to the city because a lot of times he would go into the city to find.
Okay. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. In 1965, Joel was 6, and that's when they moved to. So there's not much known about his childhood except during his lifetime and childhood, he was shy, awkward kid, and usually when you're shy and awkward, you tend to be susceptible to bullies.
Mhm.
And he was definitely that. He was bullied his entire childhood by schoolmates, and he did, however, he was tested for his IQ, and he had an IQ of 128, which is considered pretty good.
Yeah.
Not as high as mine, but
Or mine. Just so you know, it's on Long Island. So
oh, that's right. Okay. Long
Long
Island.
Island.
That's right. I remember now.
Yeah.
Um, so he did have a higher IQ, but academically he didn't do well in school because he was dyslexic.
Hmm.
But he did graduate high school, and up until high school and when he went to college, he seemed normal except for the shy, awkward. That never went away. He was still shy and awkward, and um, it wasn't until um, 1987 that things kind of slowly geared him towards fantasies of violence and uh, wanting to get prostitutes and just being
Interesting.
weird because it's when his dad, his adopted dad, committed suicide because he had cancer and he was not doing well with the cancer, so he killed himself.
Right. Right.
Yeah. While Joel was at college, he worked for the newspaper and he held some other various jobs. He didn't make a lot of money. He lived at home um, with his mom and his sister. And he tried to finish school. It, it just says he went to the university, not that he actually graduated.
Right.
And he just never could hold down a really good job. But during this time, he couldn't find a girlfriend. So that's when he turned to using what little money he did have to buy time with prostitutes.
Interesting.
So he would go into the city, pick up ladies, and for a while um he didn't start killing until later on.
Right.
But it does seem that the suicide put Joel into a deeper depression
I
and
mean, that would definitely trigger you. I mean, his dad, yes, was probably going to die anyway,
mhm,
but did it on his own terms. And it, like, taking away that little bit of time that you thought you had
yeah,
left with that person. Like, yeah.
yeah. And so he became obsessed with violence and murder and prostitution, and he had fantasies of strangling the prostitutes.
Shit.
He also became obsessed with the movie The Frenzy, which is a Hitchcock film.
Oddly, I've never seen it.
I don't think I've seen this one either, but I'm going to soon.
We should watch it together.
Ooh, I
Yes.
wish we were together.
We can Zoom it. It's fine. We'll Zoom together and watch it.
Okay. Um, it seems that it was not necessarily his environment. Like he didn't grow up in a bad childhood. Yeah, he was bullied as a kid, but
Right.
um, there's later on when I'm going to flip flop a little bit back and forth, but it just kind of goes towards his mental state.
Right.
There were they were saying that he is pre-wired to this condition of impulsivity and murder
Right.
and um because psychologists came in while he was in prison and did some testing and they documented it. There's several documentaries on him, and the test showed that his frontal lobe,
Right.
um, the part of it that keeps you from doing shitty stuff, the
Right.
prefrontal cortex, was not
Hmm.
fully developed in Joel.
Interesting.
The tests that they performed on him just showed that he had a lack of not just concentration but coordination
Very
as well.
interesting.
Yeah. Um he had trouble hearing things, and then following up with answers,
Right.
and had trouble repeating information back
Okay.
that was just given to him. So they say that probably this was more of the reason why he had that shut off
Right.
and was able to just not care about people.
Right. And I
Um,
wonder, did they say like, is that a genetic thing or is it just like something happened to him maybe?
I don't know. I'd have to do more
Because I know
in
that like
depth on it, but
all it takes is one head injury, you know?
yeah, it's true. It
So,
does change the brain. But some say that this undeveloped part of his brain took away his feelings of remorse, impulse control, and caused him to possibly become the serial killer he became.
right.
So there's a pretty good documentary called Rifkin on Rifkin, and it has some of his interviews in there, and
Where is
then
that available?
YouTube actually.
Okay. I'm
And
gonna look it up.
there's some other things. I think Oxygen has one. It
Okay.
might actually be Oxygen is the Rifkin on Rifkin.
Okay. I'll search his name.
Um, so interestingly enough, um, Joel is quoted in saying, "You think of people as things. As much as I say I wanted to stop, there probably would have been others." In all his interviews and documentaries, he never shows remorse. He said that once the soul left the body, it was dead weight and needed to be discarded, which is why he dismembered and separated the bodies for better dispersal and cleanup.
Shit.
So that is partly why he was called Joel the Ripper,
Right.
because he was cutting up his bodies to dispose of them. Um, so that's a little bit of Joel.
Yikes.
Um, but now I wanted to now talk in depth about his victims. He had 17. Two were unidentified.
Oh my God.
So they don't really give him credit for those. Um, and his conviction later was 9 bodies.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, you have to have like proof for each one.
Yeah.
And if there's
Yeah.
no evidence really like that they can put you away with, like they're not gonna, yeah,
Right.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
So authorities believed that a woman by the name of Heidi Balk was Joel's first victim, but it would take them decades before she would ever be properly identified.
Shit.
Joel initially told detectives that he'd driven to New York City in 1989 to pick up a prostitute named Susie. While his mother was out of town, Joel and Balk returned to his childhood home where they stayed for the night.
Okay.
Balk kept pressuring Joel into driving her back into the city to buy more drugs, but Joel soon took out his rage on Balk. And this was his first one, so it's going to be a lot
Right.
worse. Um, but he bashed her in the head with a howitzer artillery shell. I need pictures of this, but I'm guessing it was a larger type item. And it was like,
Yikes.
he was quoted in saying, "I bashed her in the head until I was too tired to do it anymore." And then he ended up strangling her to death.
I'm looking up what that
The
is.
howitzer, it's HOWITZER.
Oh, I've got it.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, it's a large ranged weapon between an artillery gun, um, also known as a cannon outside the US, which has smaller high velocity shells fired at flatter trajectories and a
Okay.
mortar. So it's between an artillery gun and a mortar.
Right, but it was the shell he actually used
Yeah.
to.
Shit.
Mhm.
Eesh.
Um, this is where it gets worse because now he's, gotta get rid of the body, and he severed her head, and that was found in March of 1989 on a New Jersey golf course. But for almost 25 years, detectives were unable to positively identify the remains because Balk had used various names and social security numbers. So they couldn't figure out who she was. But in 2013, detectives discovered that she was reported missing by her aunt in 2001. I'm not sure why it took from 89 to 2001, that's 12 years, why it took the aunt so long, but maybe because of her lifestyle, she just
Right.
didn't really, I don't know. I don't
Maybe she
know
thought
what,
she was a runaway, maybe? Like,
yeah, but
I-
she 12 years later reported her missing, and the aunt told the detectives that she used a name Susan Spencer. So with that
got it.
info was helpful to identify and match her remains as quote unquote Susie. And then they got her real identity from her aunt.
Jeez. Okay. Hold, please.
Holding.
Hold. Because I just
Do,
looked up,
do, do, do,
yeah,
do,
I
do,
just looked
do.
up the howitzer shell weight.
Yeah.
The weight with the fuse in it is 95 pounds,
Whew.
right?
I would get tired,
the
but it probably
explosive,
didn't have the weight in it.
but
It
the
was,
explosive fill is only 14.6 pounds
oh,
because those were
so
made with forged steel.
dang. So it was like
That's
80 pounds.
that's fucking heavy.
No wonder he got tired.
Woo.
That's a sack of concrete,
Okay,
man.
there we go. The weight of the shell only. Still fucking heavy. It's between 36 pounds and 43 pounds.
Oh, okay.
That's heavy.
Mhm.
Okay, carry on.
Yeah.
Whew. I
Yeah.
had to look it up because I was like curious.
I know.
You're
I don't know why I didn't earlier, but I'm glad we
fine.
looked it up
More
now.
exciting because I get to look shit up.
So 16 months after his first killing, he killed again. Joel picked up Julie Blackbird. I like her name.
That's a good name.
Yeah. He picked up Julie Blackbird in 1990 and brought her back to his home. After the pair spent the night once again in his mother's home, Joel beat her with a table leg and then strangled her to death.
Shit.
Joel told detectives he dismembered her body, put it into various buckets filled with concrete, and dropped the buckets into the East River and Brooklyn Canal. Sadly, her body was just never recovered.
I mean, it would be really rough to recover that.
Yeah. Do you hear that
Jeez.
saw?
Yeah, what is
Ah, it's my
it's cool.
brother.
I think it's adding
It's
to
my brother, but if it's too much,
no, it's fine. It's fine.
okay.
I can barely hear it.
Yeah, Nathaniel's making a table.
Hi, Nathaniel. I don't know if he watches or listens or anything, but tell him I
I
said
don't know. Yeah,
hi.
I don't know. I will. Um, yeah, so Julie Blackbird was her body was never recovered, but due to his count of it, I guess she was considered one of his victims.
Sad.
Barbara Jacobs was killed on July 14th, 1991. The 31-year-old's body was later found inside plastic bag, stuffed into a cardboard box, and thrown into the Hudson River.
These rivers, man.
Yeah.
People,
I cannot imagine what
dude,
is down in all of that.
we were just watching Anthony, like old Anthony Bourdain, No Reservations,
Uh-huh.
and he was literally on the Hudson River because, like, he lives on the Hudson River
He did.
with Bill Murray, or he did live there. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, it's hard to
I know.
still
I
hard to
know.
process that one.
I know.
But he was like at a restaurant with Bill Murray, and they were talking about like eating fish out of the Hudson, and the chef was like, "Not yet, but soon." been cleaning it up, I guess. So
Yeah.
yikes.
Well, that's where my other brother Ryan works now.
Yeah.
He's on the Hudson River.
Hell yeah.
Um on September 1st, 1991, so this is 2 months later, Mary Ellen DeLuca, 22, lost her life after she allegedly complained about having sex with Joel and after he had already bought her cocaine. So
Oh,
he got mad. It seems like the prostitutes that didn't give him a hard time or weren't jerks to him
right.
were the ones that were spared.
He had a
Because he had
problem with
a,
people not liking him.
yeah, he had a rejection issue.
Yeah.
Um, and he always went for prostitutes because number one, he could get the paid affection,
Right.
and because they're less likely to be looked for,
Right. 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 Yeah.
the
They
whole,
are the easier target thing.
yeah, unfortunately, um so after he bought her cocaine and she was complaining, he killed her, and he or ugh, words are hard.
They really are.
Her body was discovered in Cornwall in October 1991, a month after she had been reported missing by her family. So her family right away
Right.
reported her missing.
Good on them.
Yeah. Yoon Lee, 31, was strangled to death on September 23rd, 1991, and Joel threw her body into the East River. There, a lot of his, like, he killed several women within a matter of months.
Right.
Like, a lot of them were right in this 1991 at the end.
Yeah. He escalated all of a sudden. Big
Yeah.
time.
Well, once he had that one, and then the second one, he was
Yeah.
like, all right,
He was
I
like,
think I
let's
can do
go.
better. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeesh.
Um, Joel killed an unidentified woman in December 1991 by strangling her to death during sex. He placed her body into a 55-gallon oil drum and dumped it into the East River, and she's yet to be discovered.
Oh man.
So some of these are his accounts of what happened
Right.
because they did not find the body.
Right. And he never got to be charged for those specific ones, I'm sure, because there was no proof that they
Right.
were even dead.
Right.
So
Yeah. So Lorraine Orvieto, 28, disappeared in December 1991, that same month. He
right.
just killed the unidentified woman. But her mother, Florence Orvieto, told the New York Times that she had been saving her Christmas presents for 2 years until she learned in 1993 that her daughter's body had been discovered in a 55-gallon oil drum in Coney Island Creek in Brooklyn.
Oh my god. Dude.
Yeah,
These poor families.
I know. Um, Now we're into 1992, just a month later after those couple killings.
Mhm.
Authorities believe that 39-year-old Mary Ann Holloman was killed on January 2nd, and her body was later found in an oil drum in Coney Island Creek. Now, I think he had access to these oil drums because in 91 he created his own landscaping business. It didn't do well, but he used that site that he
Mhm.
had his business at as a place to, like, deal with the bodies.
Right. 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 Right.
Yeah. Um Iris, so that's, I think he was able to have access to all these oil drums, or he kept them
Right.
on that property. Um, Iris Sanchez, 25, was reported or supposedly killed on Mother's Day weekend in 1992. And Joel told detectives he placed her body into a mattress and put it in an put it at an illegal dump site near the JFK airport.
Okay.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah. So,
Jeez.
rivers, airports, construction sites, it was
Yeah.
just all over the place.
He was just doing everything he could.
Yeah. Anna Lopez's nude body was found May 25th, 1992, in a wooded area off Interstate 84 in Putnam County. Her mother told the newspaper in 1993 that her daughter had been a happy, outspoken child who later struggled with drug abuse and began to work as a prostitute. She vowed at the time to be present in the courtroom to let Joel and others know that the victims had been more than just sex workers.
Good.
Her daughter's life was important. She had fallen into a trap, and it was her eventual downfall, unfortunately. But Lopez's mom stated, I want to get all these families together, and I want everybody to be there in the court with me. She said at the time, I want to show these girls, these prostitutes have families who care. They were probably alone on the streets, but not in the world.
Yeah. Good on her.
Yeah. She really was an advocate for, you know, sometimes people choose that life, sure, but a lot of times people are brought into it because of circumstance, and
Some people are brought into
it's
it
just
forcibly.
right. And it's just, you know, we were lucky enough not to be in that, but there are so many women and children. It's it's sad, really.
Yep.
Um A second unidentified woman was killed sometime during 1991, and portions of her remains were later discovered inside another oil drum in New Creek in Brooklyn, and her identity is still unknown. So she was one he wasn't convicted of.
Right.
Violet O'Neill's dismembered body parts were found over 3 days in July 1992 in multiple waterways, including the Harlem River, East River, and a body of water near Governor's Island.
Jeez.
Her mother, Victoria O'Neill, told the newspaper she had last seen her daughter on July 16th, 1992. The 21-year-old, who was a mother as well to a young son, had been staying at the time with her grandmother in New York City when she disappeared. The mother said, my daughter was a very beautiful girl. The only thing that makes me feel a little better is to think that perhaps she didn't die in pain.
Fuck.
Mhm.
Gonna make me cry.
I'm
It
sorry.
just kills me because it's like I just think like it, when you're a young mom like that, like in a big city,
Mhm.
it might be hard to find work and childcare. You know what I mean? Like I know you understand that because like childcare is hard and without family members, like thankfully she had grandma, but like not everybody has that.
Yeah,
Like
no, it's
I'm
very
so
hard.
I'm so impressed by my mom and like she raised the three of us by herself. I don't know how the hell she did it, but she did it.
Yeah.
She's badass. Hi
Mhm.
mom. Hi mom again.
Hey, hey.
And yeah. I can't
Mhm.
imagine I can't imagine what these poor girls were going through and then
Yeah, I
running
I
into that
am
asshole. Like, ugh.
yeah. It's these are the, risks a lot of people take in their lives, and
Yeah,
a lot of times ends up sad. And during that time, prostitution was real heavy in the streets, and I mean, it's still a pretty busy
yeah,
uh trade. I mean, we will call it a trade. Um but now with the internet and everything, you can find safer ways to make money while
right.
doing, you
Yes,
know,
yes.
while doing things. So
Thank goodness for the internet.
maybe there's less murder, hopefully.
I mean, you would hope, but I don't know.
I don't know. It's a
Yeah.
sick, sick world out there.
Yes.
So now we move to Mary Catherine Williams. She was 31. She was linked to Joel after some of her credit cards were found among Joel's belongings in 1993 when they did a search of his house and stuff. Her mother, Doris Williams, described her daughter to the news outlet as a struggling actress and former high school homecoming queen who had moved to New York City from her home in Charlotte, North Carolina. Mom says
Charlotte. Sorry, Charlotte.
last Christmas, 1991, she came home and we begged and begged her not to go back to New York. She did not come home this Christmas, so we knew something was wrong. Williams, the former cheerleader at the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill, had struggled with an addiction to crack cocaine after her marriage broke up and often turned to prostitution to help support the habit. Drugs are bad, okay?
She went to a good school too.
I know,
That's a good school.
it is.
Fuck.
Yeah. Jenny Soto's body later washed up along the rocks of the Harlem River in November of 1992. 23-year-old was wearing only a t-shirt. She had pieces of skin under her fingernails, her sister Margarita Gonzalez told the newspaper in 1993, and she had fake nails, and those were ripped off when she found him. Or when she
Jeez.
fought him. So
Ugh.
she fought him
Oh
while she
God.
died.
Sorry, I'm like thinking of how painful
The
that would be.
fingernails?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her family describes Soto as a quiet Brooklyn girl who loved to play with her nieces and nephews, but said she had a wilder side when she went into the city. We were out every night, her 16-year-old sister, Jessie Olmedo, said at the time. She loved the clubs. She liked dressing up. Soto also had a past record for prostitution, but her family insisted she had been getting her life together before she was killed. She wasn't what they said she was, Gonzalez said. So I don't know. She might have been
She,
she might have been an active prostitute. She might not have been. But
yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to do what you got to do to be able
yeah,
to afford groceries.
yeah,
Literally, like that's what it comes to for a lot of these people.
yeah. The body of Lee Evans, a 28-year-old mother of two, was discovered in May 1992 by a family hunting for dandelions off the County Road 51. It's not a mannequin. It's never a mannequin.
Never a mannequin.
In Southampton, according to the newspaper that at that time, Evans had been the daughter of a civil court judge and had once attended Sarah Lawrence College. I cannot speak.
It's okay.
Ooh,
Words are hard.
words are hard. Hey, we need we need
We should make a shirt
that's
that
what we
says
need.
words are hard.
Words are hard. It's new merch ideas.
We'll get right on that.
We'll get on it. Lauren Marquez, 28, was found dead in West Hampton, and she had been a mother of two children. Not much is known about her. They just said that she was found dead. Joel's final victim, this is where things get crazy.
Bring it.
Joel's final victim, Tiffany Bresciani, 22, had moved to New York from her home in Louisiana to pursue her dream of becoming an actress or a singer. But an addiction of drugs would derail that dream and influence her to enter the world of sex work and begin topless dancing. Far too many stories end up like this.
Yes.
It is a hard world, like trying to be an entertainer in the world is just hard.
Yeah.
But
In a
by
sea of other people trying to be entertainers, like
yeah, it's far too many people.
Yeah.
By the time Joel found her on June 24th, 1993, she was his second prostitute of the night. and
Shit.
his fourth within 2 days.
He had a he had a problem.
You think?
Like a real problem.
Like, serious.
But even besides the killing of these women, like he had a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how he was able to afford all this, to be quite honest. Like,
I mean, wouldn't he be
I mean, you
sore?
could probably find some pretty inexpensive.
Like,
I
come
don't know
on.
what I don't know the price of prostitution, okay?
Well, I'm just like, wouldn't he be sore down there? Like, just
I
saying.
don't I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe he had no feeling. He didn't have feelings, so maybe
Like,
he had no
maybe he had no actual feeling. I
he
don't
could have
know.
been numb. But Joel picked her up on Allen Street and drove her to the New York Post parking lot where he strangled her at 5:30 in the morning.
Dude,
Yeah. From there, he drove back to East Meadow, stopping at stores along the way for rope and tarp while she lay sprawled in the back seat of his mother's car. He didn't even have his own car.
thanks, mom.
He was taking his mom's car to do all this nefarious shit. And you know what? That woman didn't deserve a son like that. She
No.
was a nice lady. She's in one of the documentaries talking about her son, and she just didn't understand. She just was like just normal.
Some people are just born that
I
way.
know. I know. So by the time he got home, she was swaddled in tarp and concealed in the trunk. Joel had just arrived home when his mother demanded her car keys, and
Ooh.
and she went on a 30-minute shopping trip. She wanted to go get groceries. She was like pissed off he had this vehicle and she couldn't go get her groceries.
Damn.
Um but mind you, what was still in the car?
Did she open the trunk?
The body was still in the car, but his mother never knew. And when she got home, Joel moved Bresciani's body into the cluttered garage, leaving her in a wheelbarrow. That woman never knew there was a dead body in the back of her vehicle when she went to go get her
She
grocery
must have
run.
fucking been mortified when she found
Oh,
out that there was a body in her car while she was driving it.
right? Oh,
Ugh.
all the creepy feels.
Gross. Ugh.
So then he spent the next 3 days working on his pickup, ignoring the summer heat and the reek of
I was just gonna say, like,
decomposing flesh.
yeah.
And so after this 3 days of I don't know what he was doing, um, he decided to leave with her to go dump the body.
So gross.
But this is what got Joel caught. New York State Troopers Sean Ruan, sorry if I'm saying these wrong, but words are hard.
Yeah.
And Deborah Spargarin were patrolling Long Island's Southern State Parkway at 3:15 a.m. on June 28th, 1993. They spotted a Mazda pickup truck with no rear license plate.
Oh. If you're gonna murder people and transport their bodies, you might want to make sure your vehicle is fucking legal.
There have been a lot of
Like,
moments where a traffic stop is how
yes,
these people are being caught
yes.
because they were not thinking
You didn't use
or
your turn signal, or like you're speeding, or you don't have a
yeah,
freaking license plate. Come on, bro.
right? So they tried to pull him over, but he didn't pull over. They used a loudspeaker. They were ordering him to stop, but he accelerated and sped down the next off ramp into the streets of Wanta. Wanta? I
Ah.
don't know. The chase went on, and they called for backup and pursued him at nearly 90 miles an hour
Yikes.
on these streets, like
In a
just
crappy Mazda.
yeah. Um, 5 more patrol cars joined in the chase, sirens wailing, and the driver missed a turn and
Oh,
crashed his truck into a telephone pole at 3:06. So they tried stopping it at 3:15 and they went for 21 minutes. And
that's a pretty
I know you don't
long
know this,
chase.
but time like time stands still until like during a pursuit until you stop.
Absolutely.
Like all you're focused on, you get tunnel vision and you're just in this mode of trying to get this person to stop.
Right.
And 21 minutes
That's a
is
long
a hell
freaking
of a
time.
long time. Yeah. Uh when the vehicle crashed and he was there, he gave no resistance. They removed him from the pickup, frisked him for weapons. He had an X-Acto knife in his pocket, and that was it. The driver's license identified him as 34-year-old Joel David Rifkin, and he lived on Garden Street in East Meadow, Long Island. I found there's a picture of his house
Shit.
that is in our drive.
Sweet.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look at it right now. Carry on.
but it's crazy to think that how many houses have had murders in them,
Oh, yeah.
too far too many. So but when they saw Joel, he was unkempt, like just filthy looking, and he had a nice layer of noxema in his mustache under his nose.
Noxema. That's
Noxema.
fucking hysterical.
Yeah. It was smeared across his mustache. And
Gee.
when they were speaking with him and they're like, "Why didn't you stop, dude? Like, what is going on?"
Mhm.
They said the reason they were pulling him over was because he didn't have a tag on his truck. Well, he said that 40 minutes earlier it was on his truck and he didn't know what happened to it.
Oh, come
Like,
on, bud.
oh, okay.
I'm looking at his truck right now. Holy hell.
Yeah. He had no explanation for why he took off for just a minor traffic violation. And um the troopers realized some funky smells.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
They were probably like, "Oh, this guy smells like death."
Yeah. So they went to the back of the pickup truck and peeled back the blue tarp and found a woman's naked decomposing corpse. And she
Sorry.
appeared to have been dead for several days.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Ugh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um so this to them explained why Joel had the use of Noxzema under his nose. And apparently, from one of our favorite movies, it was a trick for handling corpses from the movie Silence of the Lambs
Well,
2 years prior.
right.
So I guess that's where Joel got the idea
That is hysterical.
to put Noxzema under his nose so he didn't smell the rotting corpse.
It's funny.
When asked about the body, Joel said, "She was a prostitute. I picked her up on Allen Street in Manhattan. I had sex with her, then things went bad, and I strangled her. Do you think I need a lawyer?"
You think?
Uh, Joel, you definitely needed a lawyer, dummy.
Fuck, dude.
Like,
Like,
what?
obviously, he does not process things well at all.
Not at all.
Like, yes, you need a freaking lawyer, bud.
Like, here we go. So they took him down, interviewed him for a long time, and then he just kind of like vomited out all of his information and then went to trial and he pled not guilty. But
How do you plead?
this whole
I never
Yeah.
understand how somebody pleads not guilty after they've
Especially after
already
confession.
spewed out a confession about all. Yeah.
Yeah. So Dummy Joel, uh, still alive, by the way.
Okay.
He was convicted on 9 out of 17 of the murders and sentenced to 203 years in prison. He'll be eligible for parole in the year 2197.
Good luck with that, buddy.
Yeah, not happening. Um,
Damn.
so yeah.
Do we know where he's locked up or no?
He went to Attica
Okay.
and then they were for bullying purposes because he showed up his first day with black eyes and been beaten up because he's just awkward piece of shit.
Yeah.
They had to put him into 23-hour solitary
Okay.
confinement. And I don't remember. I think he tried to appeal that. He wanted to not be alone.
Right.
I'm not sure if that worked out or not. But he is still locked up in New York.
Okay.
And I don't remember if he's still in that hold or in general population, but he's just living out his days. Well,
Right. I know that.
he's 62 now.
Right.
Oh, he'll be 62
Okay.
on the 20th.
Right. Shit.
Yeah.
Wild ride.
Yeah. That went on some turns.
I guess.
So,
Yeah. Oof.
yeah.
Carry on.
That's all I got.
I'm like, I'm fine.
I give you hugs.
What a creep. Like, what a
Yeah,
creep.
there are several interviews with him and a couple documentaries, and they made a movie called Joel. I didn't watch it because I was gonna have to pay $2.99 to watch it, and I looked at the trailer and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know about this one.
Well, and there's plenty of other stuff you could watch, so it didn't
Yeah.
really need to happen.
Right. So I did
Wow.
spend a lot of time watching those documentaries the last couple weeks just
Right.
to get a better idea of stuff. But
Cool.
yeah, he's a
Word. He's
piece of shit.
a real piece of shit, this guy.
Yeah.
This guy.
With no
Sorry.
real reason behind it.
Except that his brain was not
He had a
quite
faulty
right.
brain. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a faulty brain.
And that's all it takes. Ooh, I'm really sore. I'm really sore, guys.
What were you doing?
Pilates.
Oh yeah.
I planked. I was planking.
Oh yeah.
That's part of
I
Pilates.
had some training. Was it the beginning of this week or last week? Oh man, I don't remember. I've been doing a lot for work lately.
Was it
But
brutal?
we had to do shield training and shooting. And it was the first time I shot with my new eyes.
Oh,
I did so well. Yeah. I'm proud of myself. It was all worth it because for the first time in my life, I was shooting with both eyes open.
that's amazing. I can't do that. I'm left-handed and very, very left-handed when it comes to shooting.
I am right-handed but left eye dominant.
That's
and
really
so
common.
There's
Oddly
it's
enough.
really weird. It's really weird. But now I am able to shoot with both eyes.
That's amazing.
So
Congratulations.
I cannot see up close. I lost my nearsightedness, so now I have to wear reading glasses.
Yeah, but
But
that's cool. You don't have to wear glasses.
I know. It's nice.
Bravo.
Well worth it.
Yes.
Well worth it so far. I'm only a few weeks, like 3 or 4 weeks in.
Something like that. Yeah.
Oh gosh, I lost track.
That's okay. That's a good thing. That means you're farther along.
That's right.
All right. So is that's what you got for us?
That's what I got.
All right, everybody. because it's not in my pre-recorded thing still. Go to Good Pods, please.
Good pods.
Rate, review, share, and talk with us because we like it. And find us on Twitter and stuff like that too.
We need you to email us, give us
That
some
too.
ideas, give us some feedback,
and
buy our merch.
Buy our merch, and don't just buy our merch. When you get your merch, send us a photo.
Share photos.
Or share photos, tag us. We like to see this stuff.
We do.
Like
We're visual people. We're
like
visual.
Hoodie, this zip hoodie is fantastic. I love this freaking. So yeah, it's American Apparel, which I used to not buy anymore because of crappy things they did, but they got bought, so I can buy them again.
Nice.
Made in USA. Okay.
Love it.
Okay. Anyway, that's about it. Ta-ta.
For now.
Thanks for listening to Crime, Coffee, and Crafts. If you love our podcast, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. This helps us more than you know. If you really love us and want to support us, go to our website at www.crimecoffeeandcrafts.com. From there, you can join our Patreon, shop our merch, and find us on social media.